Close your eyes. Imagine you're standing in the bustling market of Tenochtitlan, sunlight dancing off jade artifacts, the scent of maize tortillas filling the air. A hush suddenly falls as priests draped in obsidian black robes glide past, carrying a bound figure toward the great temple. What fate awaits this person, accused of defying the cosmic order? Tonight on Boring History for Sleep, we journey into the heart of the Aztec Empire to uncover the most bizarre and disturbingly poetic punishments ever devised. So dim the lights, get comfortable, and let the eerie elegance of ancient justice lull you into an unforgettable dreamscape. Nestled on a series of islands in Lake Texcoco, the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan brimmed with grandeur, soaring pyramids, intricate canal systems, and marketplaces overflowing with goods from across Mesoamerica. Yet beneath this veneer of prosperity lay a justice system, where religion and law were inseparable threads of the same tapestry. Crimes weren't merely offenses against men, they were affronts to the gods themselves. And so the Aztecs devised punishments that blended theatricality, symbolism, and celestial doctrine, ensuring that each penalty resonated far beyond the individual wrongdoer, echoing through the empire as a cosmic warning. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore 5 of these extraordinary penalties. We'll uncover how each ritual spoke to Aztec beliefs about balance, reciprocity, and the sacred duty every citizen bore to maintain harmony between earth and sky. By the end, you'll see that even the most gruesome of these rites held a strange, almost hypnotic beauty, one that still fascinates historians and storytellers alike. 1. Tlalpili, foot on the coyote's throne. Picture a vast plaza paved in polished volcanic rock. At its center stands a low stone block carved in the shape of a crouching coyote, its fangs bared in a perpetual snarl. This was the Tlalpili, or coyote's throne, reserved for criminals whose trickery disrupted communal order, thieves, con artists, or officials who abused their power. The accused, trembling, is brought before the coyote-carved seat. Priests slather his foot in bright red pigment, symbolizing both blood and the life force owed to the community. As spectators hold their breath, a live coyote is released and guided toward the prisoner. In now a mythology, the coyote embodies both cunning and chaos. By forcing the criminal to face the coyote's raw instincts, the Aztecs enacted a ritual of cosmic rebalancing. The trickster's power turned against one who had sowed discord. The howls and yips, carried on a lake breeze, reminded every onlooker that nature itself would enforce the emperor's law. If the coyote nipped or scratched, no matter how lightly, the criminal was scarred for life, physically and spiritually. The more significant punishment, however, was communal shamming. The story of one's humiliation spread through town, deterring future transgressors far more effectively than any prison cell. By the end of this ritual, the coyote had done more than enforce a sentence. It had restored cosmic balance, making every spectator a participant in the empire's grand design. 2. Umquistli, the gaping death. For the gravest offenses, murder of a noble, treason, or sacrilege against sacred idols, the Aztecs reserved the umquistli, often translated as the gaping death. This was not a punishment meted out lightly. It was an unthinkable blend of agony, symbolism, and finality. On the summit of the Templo Mayor, priests in resplendent feathered regalia form a circle around a stone slab. Blood-red banners ripple in the wind, and the air hums with the rhythmic beat of huhuatl drums. The condemned, stripped of garments and dignity, is laid supine, arms outstretched toward the 4 cardinal directions, invoking the universe's 4 corners. Wooden levers, fashioned from sacred ceiba wood, clamp onto the prisoner's jaws. Slowly, inexorably, the levers are turned, stretching the mouth into a grotesque awl. This forced gape symbolizes a soul torn from its vessel, an outward manifestation of internal cosmic rupture. Aztec cosmology held that the mouth was the conduit between the earthly realm and the divine. Through speech, song, and prayer, humans maintained their bond with gods. By violently distorting this portal, priests enacted a ritual unmaking, ensuring the offender's spirit could not utter another word in either world. From the palace balconies to the crowded marketplace, word of an umquistli spread like wildfire. Parents whispered warnings to their children, merchants paused their haggling, reminded of their own precarious place in society. Though scarcely survivable, the umquistli needed only a single breath of atrocity to imprint its lesson on the hearts of all Aztec subjects. Divine order was absolute. 3. Tlaxcala, the living statues. Not every crime warranted death. When temple tribute went unpaid, or priests discovered blasphemous inscriptions, offenders faced Tlaxcala, coming living statues entombed in plaster, an eerie blend of art installation and punishment. Prisoners were coated from head to toe in a mixture of lime and volcanic ash, material sacred to the earth goddess, Coatlicue. Once hardened, The flesh of the punished gleamed like ghostly marble, eyes still wide with terror. Stripped of speech and motion, these living statues lined temple walls for days, sometimes weeks, until heat and dehydration claimed them. Worshippers offered prayers alongside the silent forms, interpreting each twisted posture as moral allegory, reminders of the god's power to freeze both body and spirit. Archaeological study suggests some walls of smaller shrines, or niches precisely sized for human figures, indicating a premeditated architectural integration of this punishment into temple design. Transformed cities into open-air museums of divine retribution, where every passerby became an audience member. In the hushed corridors of Aztec temples, these statues stood as somber guardians, terrifying embodiments of the price one paid for defying sacred duty. 4. Semperali, 100 lashings. For crimes less severe yet still disruptive, gambling on holy ground, lying under oath, or petty theft, the Aztecs employed the semperali, literally, the 100 lashings. At dawn, under a blood-red sky presaging the sun's rebirth, the offender was tied to a wooden post. Public drums set a slow, flensing rhythm. Executioners wielded braided leather thongs, sometimes embedded with obsidian shards for added sting. Each lash rang out like a dark drumbeat of atonement. Dawn symbolized rebirth. With each lash, the sinner was metaphorically stripped of past transgressions, preparing to re-enter society purified. Tears mingled with blood, a potent offering to Tlaloc, god of rain, invoking his mercy to cleanse the community. Survivors bore deep scars across backs and thighs, visible tattoos of divine justice. Offenders often wore long cloaks, not out of shame alone but to honor the ritual's gravity and the communal healing it represented. In marketplaces and plazas, the echoes of leather on flesh reminded all that even lesser misdeeds could summon the god's stern gaze. 5. Teoliaquia, hard extraction for sacrilege. At the pinnacle of Aztec ritual and punishment stood Teoliaquia, hard extraction, reserved for the gravest sacrileges. When a citizen dared defile a deity's sanctuary, only those proven guilty of tearing down idols, desecrating blood offerings, or mocking priestly rites faced this penalty. Days before, priests fasted and purified the temple precincts, invoking Huitzilopochtli, patron of sun and war. On the temple summit, a tiered pyramid reaching skyward, the condemned was laid on an altar carved from gleaming basalt. Clad in jaguar skins, priests brandished an obsidian blade so sharp it nicked the air before flesh. With a single incision, the still-beating heart was removed and presented skyward in a crimson offering to the sun god. Though this was the ultimate punishment, it paradoxically offered the condemned a place among honored warriors. Their hearts, lifted each dawn, were believed to nourish the sun on its daily journey. In death, they transcended punishment, becoming eternal guardians in the celestial battle against darkness. This ceremony fused terror and transcendence, reminding all Aztecs that even in death, service to the empire's divine order shone brightest. Deep reflection and takeaways. From the howl of the coyote to the silent stare of living statues, Aztec punishments wove justice and ritual into a single tapestry. They were never arbitrary. They spoke of a society in which every action rippled through both earth and sky. By inflicting these extraordinary penalties, Aztec leaders maintained not only social order but cosmic harmony, ensuring that humans, gods, and nature remained forever entwined. If this twilight stroll through Aztec justice captivated your imagination, please tap the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon. We release new videos each evening, guiding you through the most curious corners of history, one bizarre tale at a time. Sleep well, dream deeply, and join us tomorrow for another journey beyond the veil of time. Good night from Boring History for Sleep.